We together are going to read one of the most bizarre letters to the New York Times Ethics Division, Letter to the Ethicist. The title of it is on the screen right here. My boyfriend has a husband. Should I tell him about us? I, I'm just going to read this because I don't really even know where to begin here. Uh, I'm a man who's been with my husband for 35 years. Some 12 years ago, I began a second relationship with another man. I didn't seek it out, but it has deeply enriched my life. I've been open with my husband, and this honesty led our own understanding about boundaries, what some call ethical non-monogamy. Again, there's too many layers here. So let me continue. My struggle, my second partner hasn't told his husband about the nature of our relationship. They have an open arrangement, but the depth and specifics of ours have not been revealed. That makes me uncomfortable. Friends say I'm not responsible for his honesty, but do I have a moral obligation to a man I don't know? Signed, name withheld. Now, we're going to read the part from the New York Times ethicist and saying, what should you do? And obviously, I will assign my own binding verdict, not legally, of course, and present my own arbitration here and figure out what is right and what is wrong. And I will say so definitively, or maybe I won't, because this is a thing that is so many layers of not correctness here. And let's not even get into the man married to man thing. That's not even part of the conversation. Let's just assume that let's pretend that this was a man and woman relationship. Okay, so you've decided on an open relationship, and then that open relationship has gotten deeper to the point where the other person who's also in said open relationships, which don't exist and don't work, by the way, but your understanding of the open relationship in their open relationship isn't matching what you think their open relationship should be, so you're conflicted about telling the other guy on the other side of the open relationship, apart from you, that your open relationship exists to the extent that it does. You can argue against this sort of stuff, which I think I will, and I will read let me start with reading what the New York Times ethicist said. Being in an open relationship can mean many different things. Setting aside health protocols, there's a big one. Maybe you shouldn't set that aside, but they do, so let's set those aside, I guess. It might require disclosure of all sexual relationships, or it might grant broad latitude for physical intimacy with others, provided these connections remain casual and don't threaten the primary bond. Okay. That's like saying it's okay to rob a bank at gunpoint so long as it doesn't threaten your standing as a good law-abiding citizen. Your partner may be in breach of his marriage agreements, particularly if your connection with him has deepened beyond the permitted scope. Yet, by your account, your relationship poses no real threat to his marriage, given that neither of you envision the relationship superseding its primary commitment. My sense is that their private understanding remains opaque to you. This is the other two things. There's this hoity-toity, these things that have existed through the eternity of time, monogamy, and the only way that things have actually worked throughout the course of human history, it's fine because your understanding is opaque. I won't use a word that real people use, like, I don't know, not abundantly evident to you, which I guess is maybe even wordier than opaque. Maybe opaque is the correct word to use in this particular situation. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you get to use big hoity-toity words. It's not going to work. There's too many layers of bad things happening. It's like you stole a pizza and now we're complaining about the toppings on the pizza. Or better yet, a car. You stole a car, and now somebody committed a crime in the car, which doesn't negate the fact that you stole a car. It just compounds on the badness of it all. I think this is my verdict. I think my verdict is that some things are so outlandish and crazy, they don't really warrant a defense. And the only real defense that anybody is going to bring to this sort of thing is, well, they can just do what they want. People can do what they want, and that's fine. I understand that. But to pretend that that's going to have a positive and easy outcome for all, if not any, involved is silly and ridiculous, right? You're allowed to live your life as a voluntary amputee and chop your legs off. I guarantee you it's not going to make you happy. It's not going to make things better for you. It's not going to make life easier. But yeah, you're allowed to do that. And so, considering the fact that that's probably the only argument that anybody can give in this particular situation, my binding, non-legal verdict on this case is just don't. Your life's going to be harder, and I'm not sure how much sympathy anybody's going to have for you. What a crazy letter to send to the New York Times ethicist. I don't know. Banana.